Escape reality, Star Wars talk.
Yeah.
I almost didn't think this episode would happen today.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a scheduling conflict.
Yep. I didn't. Oh, barely got done with what I needed to get done, but I'm here now. It's
Just a little bit later than
yeah.
usual, but we made it. We made it.
Uh,
That's the important part. How about
We
you
have-
introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Seth. Co-host with Caleb.
Yep.
Caleb handles the technical stuff, and I provide an emotional soundboard that sometimes is not as emotional.
Although it sounds like, because we were talking a little bit about it earlier,
Yeah.
sounds like this week we were going to get into that, actually.
Yeah.
We're actually going to get a little bit into the emotional side of things.
Look, stoicism does not always work for me.
But when you have a stoic character who then goes through a lot of emotional stuff,
There's some shit, man.
that's going to get you, yeah.
I also have some thoughts
Yeah.
about some other characters that went down.
Oh,
lower.
like you liked them before, but now they're a little bit less likable because of stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so this week we got a lot to talk about because
Yeah,
we skipped.
Since we skipped.
We had to skip last week because of similar reasons that we almost missed this week.
Yeah. Oh.
And because we skipped last week, we have not yet had a chance to talk about Star Wars Celebration.
No, we have not.
So you did not watch anything.
I didn't.
As far as I know, yeah. But I did keep up with it.
Mm.
Because it's me. Of course, I kept up with it.
Yeah.
I kept up with it for both our show and for the other podcasts I do. So let's kind of, I guess, go into that.
What did you learn? What did you see?
So I actually made a list of everything.
Okay.
So, and this is going to be not in the order of how things were released to us, but in the order of when they're coming out.
I see.
But first, before we go into celebration stuff, we were talking about it in the car. We were talking about Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And there's a new thing that that Disney announced for their Disney parks. So for Galaxy's Edge, they are now they are officially adding Boba Fett and Fennec Shand as cast members that you can see at Galaxy's Edge. The way they've worded it is that they'll have their own story going on along with the story that's already, because when you go to Galaxy's Edge, there's a canon story that is taking place.
All right.
And it's kind of a Groundhog's Day thing where if you go to Galaxy's Edge multiple days, it's the same day that's happening. You just can interact with it differently because you're an outsider just interacting with it, right? But you are canon to the story.
Okay, so you have persistent.
You have
memory.
you have agency, so to speak, when it comes to versus the rest of the cast members who are kind of your bouncing board. But they said that the Boba Fett and Fennec Shand stuff will kind of be on its own.
Yeah.
So that way it doesn't change the canon story that has already been consistently taking place over the couple years that we've had Galaxy's Edge at this point, right? Because otherwise, then it would be like, oh, so this is a new. It would change the story a little bit. And then they've said that there are also plans to eventually add Din Djarin and Grogu, so Mando and Baby Yoda. I guess that means that Boba Fett, Fennec, Mando, and Grogu live as far as post Episode 8.
Yeah.
Because that's when Galaxy's Edge takes place. That's when the stuff at the park take place is between 8 and 9.
Okay.
Whereas Book of Boba Fett is obviously only 5 years after 6 currently. So they live another like 20-ish years, give or take. Yeah. So I thought that was exciting. And since we were talking about Boba Fett in the car, I was like, oh yeah, that reminds me I should probably talk about that.
That would make him.
So he's in his he's 40.
60?
We did the math. We did the math. He's 41 at Book of Boba Fett, give or take a year or two. And then, so yeah, that would make him about 60, maybe near 70 by Galaxy's Edge. But the armor's probably doing most of the work. All right, so now we're going to talk about stuff that was announced at Celebration.
He'll look 120 because Tatooine's hot. But
Yeah. So, first off, it's funny that this got announced because I've been replaying Knights of the Old Republic 1 on my Switch.
yes.
I'm almost done, by the way. But it's funny that it got announced. Knights of the Republic 2 is following its big brother with a port to the Nintendo Switch coming out this
right.
week.
Oh, this week.
Like this upcoming week, yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's already almost out. It is coming out on June 8th.
All right.
And will be the first time that the game has ever been released completely.
Oh.
As it'll have the restored content mod added onto it as DLC.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember the original being like, we didn't have as
because,
much time.
You know, it's the Obsidian problem. They never get to finish their games
Like, we would love to finish our game.
Like, because they did the same thing with Fallout New Vegas. It's an incomplete game because Obsidian just wasn't given the time to complete it.
As a guy who has gone through that game and beat the DLCs twice, and had to fucking figure out the order of the DLCs, which was harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
You think it'd be real easy because they would do it in release order.
You would think.
Actually, I think they did.
Yeah.
Because the first time, I definitely did not play them in the right order.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I mean, so I think it's exciting. And also the fact that I guess they paid the mod, because I was discussing this with a friend of the channel.
Yeah.
And so another lore master, and we were discussing it, and he's more into the video game industry than I am. Like, he actually has his foot in the door on some stuff. And so we were discussing, and we're like, they probably just paid enough, and the modders were happy with it, because technically they don't have to pay the modders. They can just take the mod and add it to the game if they want to, because I think it's Lucasfilm Games is now the official title. Yeah, Lucasfilm Games has the rights to this. So like, just because you made a mod doesn't mean it's yours. They can just go, well, that's using our property to do. So
yeah,
it'd be like if somebody stole a fanfic.
No one would
bat an eye.
If the original authors stole someone's fanfic and added it to their story.
Yeah, like it's their original universe. They have the right to take it.
Yeah.
Whether that's morally right.
Are you kidding me? It's a business. Fuck morals.
But you know what I mean. So, but we think that they probably gave them like a few thousand.
That would be fair.
They probably gave them a few thousand and said, "Hey, we'll take this off your hands and we'll make it official content." And the modders were more than happy to take whatever they could get. So the other thing that released is a trailer for Andor, which I'm actually going to show. I've been setting up a new way to do some things, so we're going to actually watch the trailer. Let me pull it up right there. Hey. So we're going to watch it together because you have not watched it yet.
No, I have not.
So fat and satisfied. They're watching me now. These days will end. There will be no rules going forward. That's what a reckoning sounds like.
August 31st.
Mm.
Woo! Okay. So, what do you think?
We don't really see.
We don't see a lot of Andor in the Andor trailer, but that's because. So, let me talk a little bit about what the plan is regarding that show. It's going to be 12 episodes, so it's the longest Disney Plus
Okay.
show we've ever had, yet. Anyways, and then it's going to basically be half Andor story and half Mon Mothma's, who we do see in the trailer. They brought the same actress back from Revenge of the Sith to play Mon Mothma again, because she also was in Rogue One. And so, I think it's going to be interesting. And the fact we're getting it in August 31st, that's good. Hey, it's coming up. So we'll finish with Kenobi. And as far as Disney Plus's release schedule, this week we're getting the first episode of Miss Marvel. So while Miss Marvel is probably getting close to wrapping up, that's when we'll get the first episode of Andor, either when it's wrapping up or after it's done, depending how long Miss Marvel goes. I don't think it's going to go that long, actually. What it'd be? It would probably make it to July if we're starting Miss Marvel this week.
That's fuck. I don't know that.
It's the one about the girl that
Carol Danvers.
Kamala Khan.
Oh no.
No, yeah.
I was thinking.
It's
about somebody-
related. It's related to Captain Marvel, but it's
Okay, that's what
you're thinking. Captain
I
Marvel.
see, that's
Yeah,
why I was
Miss
like,
Marvel. Miss Marvel is Kamala Khan, who's a fan of Captain Marvel.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Well,
They're doing a little bit stuff a little
why
bit different
do
with
I
her
know
character.
Who that is?
Yeah, they're doing stuff a little bit different with Miss Marvel than usual. So the reason you might have thought that is because Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, was known as Miss Marvel originally,
Okay.
and that's why. Yeah. All right. But I think it looks exciting. I kind of want this. I mean, do you like Cassian Andor as a character in Rogue One? He's the spy.
He's like shot another man in an alleyway.
I mean,
Look, man.
he did what he
Spy
had to do.
Not. It's. I think it would be better to see because that's.
It's going to be interesting to see the ugly side of the rebellion.
Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, poster boys. Can we get into the grease and the dirt
Yeah,
a little bit?
which so season 1's going to
'Cause
cover.
rebellions are never
Yeah.
clean.
So as far as Andor's story goes, the first season is supposedly supposed to cover most of his life. So it's going to show like
Yeah, 'cause
him because we saw him as a child in the
Yes.
trailer. Because we see
And that looks like a raid. On a
yeah,
place,
yeah,
and
because
people
during the
already
Clone
know.
Wars, because he does talk about how his parents were part of the Separatists. In Rogue
Oh.
One, he talks about that. So because he mentions that he's been fighting this war his entire life because his parents started in the Separatists, and really the rebellion is an extension of the Separatist movement. Whether the members of the rebellion want to agree or not, because there is that famous deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith where Padme, Mon Mothma, and Bail Organa are starting the rebellion, and one of them asks, "Hey, are we separatists?" No, we're not separatists. This is totally different. It's like, but we're talking exactly like separatists. No, because we're staying in the Republic, but also are have the same complaints as the separatist movement. So that's where things get interesting.
It's one of those things where it's like, no, it's completely different, and I'm like, your reasoning is different. The results are the same.
Yeah. So speaking of other shows we got, and speaking of clones, because we talked about clones, the next show that's coming out after Andor is Bad Batch Season 2.
When I watch the first season, I admit I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, and we got a trailer for it, and it's coming out September 28th. So let's go ahead and look at that trailer. Come on. Oh no, it didn't want to work. Hold on.
No. Okay.
It's being a butt.
Mm.
Being a big booty. Okay, we got it. And hey. All right.
Sure, clone Rambo. Sure.
Oh yeah. Oh. Oh yeah. I know you're happy about that. Oh.
Hey, Caleb.
Yeah.
How long do Wookiees live?
It's not
It's
him.
not that long.
No. It's no that so that Wookiee was introduced in Clone Wars. That's Gungi. So season 2 trailer looks good.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. Let's see. Yeah. Let me I was making sure the next trailer we got was prepped up, but yeah. Yeah. So we got a lot in that trailer. In fact, we got Gungi coming back from Clone Wars, revealed to survive Order 66, or at least the initial wave. We've got Commander Cody appeared in that trailer too. He was he was the clone with the scar.
Oh, okay.
So, which everybody's been wondering what's up with Cody since Order 66 after he had Obi-Wan shot.
Yeah.
Everybody's been wondering when we'll see him again.
It's like I have the worst headache, man.
And also, I ordered my best friend to get shot.
Yep.
So everybody's been waiting for that, and then of course we had the Commandos from Republic Commando. That's Delta Squad, and it's I think confirmed that was Scorch. So a little bit of excitement there. And so yeah, another show that I'm just like yes. Season 1 had a bit of a rough start. It had the season 1 kind of, the animated Star Wars season 1 blues, I think, where it was getting its footing.
Yeah.
But I'd say I thought the premiere was really strong, and I definitely think about the halfway point they really knew where they were going with the show. And similar to a lot of season 1 Star Wars shows, it kind of found its footing after that. And I think season 2 is going to be really good. Drifting away from TV shows for a bit. We're going to go into a bit of comic news because that's what's next. In October, we are going. Kevin Scott is working on a Yoda miniseries comic for Marvel. So he's already started working on it. October will be when the first issue comes out. It is set just before Yoda runs into Luke, and it will have him reflecting on his life. So we'll get to go back and see earlier parts of Yoda's story, including some High Republic era stuff, which that's going to be the first. So Kevin Scott is doing. He's overseeing most of it, but everybody's working. I think it's a 10-issue thing.
Okay.
And it's going to be like first 3 issues are going to be an arc, second 3, and then like 2 and 2 or something like that, right? And the first 3 issues are being done specifically by Kevin Scott, and those are going to focus on the High Republic era, which makes sense because Kevin Scott's been pretty good at that stuff, and he's also, I think he knows what he's doing with comics in the High Republic era. And then we're also going to get to see a little bit of Yoda training Dooku as part of the second arc. So I'm excited for that. This is not Star Wars news, but it is Lucasfilm news. They showed a trailer for the TV show Willow, which is a sequel to the movie Willow. that Lucas did way back in the 80s. It's a fantasy story with wizards and stuff, and it's got Warwick Davis as the main character as Willow. Wicket the Ewok. And if you've watched Harry Potter, he's I forget which professor he is, because Harry Potter's not my strongest suit.
Is he the charms professor?
Hold on. A little Google search will do me a little good. Phileas Flitwick.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know his not real job.
He's also he also is the goblin in Deathly Hallows. And then he's also the Leprechaun in the Leprechaun movie series. You know, where the Leprechaun goes off killing people. Yeah, the horror film series. But yeah. And so they released a trailer for that, and the show will come out on November 30th. Let's get that trailer popped up.
All right. So,
oh, sorry. I forgot I did something. There we go.
There is a story of a child destined to be an empress.
There is a balance between all things. Light and shadow. Good and evil. When that balance is upset, the universe corrects.
Needs your help. It needs your magic.
That's where we must go.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, the theme song for that. But yeah, so we're getting a TV show for it. So, this is your first time probably seeing any Willow content.
Yeah.
Based on how you reacted to me telling you that Willow was getting a sequel. Thoughts from just that? Are you interested? Do you want to watch the first movie now? Or
I'm confused.
but does it make you want to watch the first movie from what you saw, or
I don't know if it would be necessary. To be honest, it seems like it's not.
I just meant if it got you intrigued or not, really. So it's hard to explain, but like, because it's been a while since I've watched the movie, but it's a really good fantasy movie. Willow is this wizard, magician that as you see, Warwick Davis comes in and he's like, "Hey, I got I'm the magic man that you guys are looking for. I'll help you." Basically, they're Gandalf in this. It looks like in this version, whereas in the first movie, it's him becoming a hero. So it's interesting seeing Lucasfilm expand back into their older catalog of franchises. Because they've got a few other things they could bring back if they wanted to. And I kind of hope they do, because while I love Star Wars, obviously, to the point that we've made a podcast about it, I would love to see Lucasfilm reach out and, become a studio that's more than just Star Wars. And so it'd be nice. And they were definitely trying it already, because like I've talked about this on other places that I've talked about this decision to even show Willow at Star Wars Celebration. they've tried already to expand since the Disney buyout. They just haven't had the chance to make it work because they were going to do a film series off the Children of Bones books.
Fuck is that?
It's a fantasy book series. It's for young adults.
That sounds so much like a horror series.
Nope, fantasy. And so they were gonna make a franchise out of that, but then they lost the license to do the films.
Whoops.
I don't know how that happened. Don't know what happened behind the scenes. They just don't have it now. But yeah, I'm excited because I do want them to expand, and I like the idea of them expanding. All right, stuff that we do not have footage of. We've got Tales of the Jedi television series that got announced officially with a release for fall of this year. It's going to be an anthology series that focuses on a specific Jedi's life for 3 episodes. The first season will be 6 episodes with a focus on Dooku and then Ahsoka. Well, Ahsoka and then Dooku. So fans who were there got to see the first episode, which was about Baby Yoda, Baby Ahsoka, I mean. So we got to see Baby Ahsoka, which there are some images that have been released of Baby Ahsoka and her mom holding her, and then there's also been some images of a young Dooku, and we also got young Qui-Gon for the Dooku episodes, which young Qui-Gon's gonna be voiced by Liam Neeson's son.
Okay.
And then Liam Neeson's gonna voice Qui-Gon when they get to the later bits of Dooku's life. So that's going to be interesting. And I assume each season we'll get more and more different era of Jedi. It's just right now we're getting a lot of prequel Jedi for this season, so Dooku and Ahsoka. I assume if we get multiple seasons, we'll start seeing like High Republic Jedi or even, sequel era, like maybe more on Finn or Rey, and because Finn is technically Force sensitive. And so that'll be interesting. And I would like them to even, since they took the Tales of the Jedi name, I would like them to go as far back as the Old Republic era and show us maybe an Ulic Qel-Droma or an Exar Kun. Although I guess Exar Kun, well, if they're showing Count Dooku, they can show Exar Kun. Just saying. I'm sorry, Dave. If you're gonna, so Dave, this is a Dave Filoni project because of course it is. I mean, the first few episodes are about Ahsoka. It's a Dave Filoni project. Yeah. Dave, may I call you Dave? Or would you prefer Mr. Filoni? Dave, if you're going to take a name of a well-known Star Wars comic, use some of the characters from it. I don't mind that it's an anthology series. In fact, I don't mind this premise of showing a bunch of Jedi from different eras, except you're only showing one era of Jedi. And you only got 6 episodes, which I have a feeling it's going to be very... this is meant to be shorts, so they're not full 30-minute episodes. They're about 20 minutes. At least the first episode was. So I assume we're going to get all 6 episodes at once, and we'll be able to binge watch it the way we did Visions. So I don't know. I feel like this premise has a lot of potential. I like the idea. I just don't know how I feel about the execution. I'm sure I'll love the episodes. I just would like to see more.
All right.
So I'm not I'm not crapping on the idea entirely. I just think that that this premise has a lot of potential for more than what it's utilizing it for at the moment. So this is all in good faith criticism. Another thing we didn't get that we don't have footage for officially, Mando Season 3. They got a teaser that only the fans for the event got to see, but it did get leaked. We did watch it before coming on today. Mando Season 3 got announced of when it's going to release, February of next year. So, I guess because there's so many... since there's so many shows that are already coming out this year, because we got Andor in August, Bad Batch in September, Tales of the Jedi sometime in the fall. So,
yeah, I think we'll have enough.
well, and we're currently in a Kenobi.
Yeah, we have enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll ever have enough, but that's just.
We have enough to hold us for this.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not happy. I'm more like I won't say no to more Star Wars if they decided to do more Star Wars. Wow, I know, wild take from Caleb. So yeah, so because we saw it leaked, it wasn't a clean look at it, but I do like what we're seeing. It's Mando season 3 can be dubbed Mandalorian and the Great Bath Search.
Yeah, go take your bath.
Go take your bath on Mandalore.
Go take your bath on a planet that's completely fucked.
Because basically it's continuing from what we saw. It's continuing the story of Book of Boba Fett, where they left Mando off, which is, hey, you took off your helmet, so now you've sinned against our specific cult of Mandalorians, which of course Bo-Katan's not part of, but
Yeah.
like the Armorer and Paz Vizsla are, and of course Din Djarin's part of it, and so he's like, well, I want to be part of the cult again for some reason, even though I now know that other types of Mandalorians exist.
Look, Mom.
But I want to be part of the cult, so I'm going to go take my bath so I can be part of the cult again. And apparently, I guess, Bo-Katan's coming along for the ride to help him.
So, I know what I saw. Could you imagine if he just went there, got in the water, and left?
And it was just the first episode. And then like, the rest of the season, we don't know what's coming.
There's no, like, actual problem. There's nothing to stop him.
I would imagine we're still going to deal with some Imperial remnants.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably not Moff Gideon's forces because he was arrested at the end of season 2. He was taken into New Republic custody. Which, speaking of, we see Grief Karga again and the bounty hunter planet at Navarro. Which it looks like he has cleaned up a lot. Like, it is a lot more colorful than the last time we saw Navarro.
I found soap.
Yeah. And so,
And Windex.
and it looks like it is under New Republic custody now because we saw the New Republic pilots, Kim's Convenience, New Republic fighter there. I forget the name of the actor. So it looks good. I'm down, and I'm fine with waiting till February because, like you said, we've got a lot to kind of keep us entertained in the meantime.
Do you think you will be sated for now?
For now. Once again, we're going back into non-Star Wars-y news, but it is, once again, Lucasfilm news.
Is that Michael Jackson?
No, it is something entirely different, my friend. It is. We have word of the Indiana Jones 5, and we got a first image. Bum-ba-dum-bum, bum-ba-dum. Which they actually had John Williams there playing the theme, and Harrison Ford came on stage, and he was like, "Hey, we're doing this." Showed the first image, walked off, which is very on brand for Harrison Ford.
Is an old man and does not have time.
Very on brand with the man. So yeah, and so we know currently the release date is June 30th for next year.
Okay.
Because they've been filming it. It's been in production for a while now. I think they're done. They're either done or they're close to being done filming. So June 30th fits within the time frame, gives them time to edit and put in any visual effects. Going back into stuff that we don't have trailers for and we don't really even have an image for. Visions Volume 2 got announced.
Yes.
For spring of next year. The only image we got was it was an Instagram post, and instead of the blue Visions logo, it's now a red logo. That's the only difference. And then we also, in terms of other announcements with Visions, they announced that they're also doing a Marvel comic, which will include an original story and not a retelling of any existing ones. So more new stories within the Visions type of storytelling. Which Visions Volume 2 is apparently not just going to be anime studios. They're trying to expand it to, like, they said worldwide studios. So now maybe we'll see, because, for the most part, it was just Japanese anime studios. Yeah. So now maybe we'll get some Korean anime. Yeah. Maybe we'll get something from, from a UK studio. You know, I would kind of want to see an Aardman take on Star Wars. Get that Aardman claymation.
I don't like claymation.
You don't like Aardman, though? Come on.
No, I don't like claymation.
But do you like Aardman style claymation? Like Wallace and Gromit?
No. Oh, and while we're at it, let me go and shoot, what's that weirdo's name? His work? The one that made,
Oh, you're talking about Tim Burton, which technically that wasn't Tim Burton's film. It was somebody else's. It's the guy who did Coraline.
Coraline's actually not that bad. That's the one I will forgive.
Yeah.
The rest are not forgiven.
The guy who did Coraline is actually the guy who brought us Nightmare Before Christmas, but they put Tim Burton's name on it because, you know, he's the bigger name and he produced it. But he didn't direct it.
I see.
It was Henry Selick. Yeah.
Not a fan.
Which I think Henry Selick was technically also the true secret. Yeah, he did James and the Giant Peach as well, which also Tim Burton gets credit for. But he wasn't even involved with that one, I don't think. At least Nightmare Before Christmas, he was a producer.
But
yeah. Let's see. Well, time for the High Republic Phase 2 lineup that we've got so far. So I saved this for later because it goes all the way into spring of next year of what they've announced. So we got Phase 2 of the High Republic mainline comic.
All right.
Which is technically Volume 2, you know, because they'll reset the number. They'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, they'll reset the numbers. And that comes out starts in October.
Okay.
Path of Deceit and Quest for the Hidden City come out November 1st. Convergence comes out November 15th. The Blade miniseries comic starts in November, which apparently they revealed that he has a sister. They did say it's a tragedy story, though, which, I mean, it's the High Republic.
Oh, yeah. You think?
Yeah. My comment on that was like, really? This is a tragedy? We've already been dealing with so many. It's the High Republic.
Here's a dose of micro-tragedy for you.
And then we've got the Battle of Jeddah coming out January 4th of next year. So we're going to see a little bit of the history of Jeddah from Rogue One and the connection with, you know, the High Republic era. Quest for Planet X comes out April 4th of next year. Path of Vengeance comes out May 2nd next year. And Cataclysm comes out spring next year. Battle of Jeddah is going to be similar to Dooku Jedi Lost and Tempest Runner in that it's going to be an audio drama. So full cast audio drama. So it'd be interesting. So that's High Republic Phase 2 so far of what we know. Also, we may have found the truth behind the Marcianro.
Yeah. I think you said it was
it is a Charles Soule issue apparently, and not a Mark Thompson. But I will get to find out. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. I'm gonna say I will get to find out the truth behind a couple things when it comes to Mark Thompson's narration by next week. Well, yeah, by next week. So. Last three things for
Path of Vengeance.
Yeah. Last three things for the Star Wars Celebration. So do you remember Grammar Rodeo? We talked about it a while back. It was going to be a kids focused show that they were working on, live action.
I remember you saying something. I don't remember what.
Okay. And so we were led to believe at the time that it might have been High Republic related.
Yeah.
So that is wrong. It is related to post-episode. It's going to be related to the Mando era of Star Wars. and they came out with the name, the actual name, because
All
Grammar
right.
Radio is, of course, the working title. The actual name is Skeleton Crew, and it is starring Jude Law, and it is set to come out next year sometime.
All right.
All right, and we got two more. One more without... Actually, that's wrong. I forgot a show. So there's another show that got announced. Let me double check when it's coming out. It's a kid show, which is why I forgot to mention it. We got announcement of this is a High Republic era show though, but it's gonna be for like Disney Junior, Disney Plus, right? Young Jedi Adventures. It's gonna be exactly as the show sounds. Focus on young, Padawans and stuff during the High Republic era. It is set for spring of next year,
Okay.
and it's going to be animated because Disney Junior. I'll check it out to see if there's anything lore important, but I doubt we'll get anything because Disney Junior. I don't expect, because Disney Junior is basically like watching Nick Jr. It's like, tell me where my backpack is. Oh, there it
It's a
is.
surprise tool that'll help us later.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm
It's
expecting.
called a lightsaber and murder.
Like so that's the level I'm expecting.
Yeah.
But
If there are any big lore reveals.
which there's nothing wrong with, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I think it's good that we're getting
Yeah.
I think it's good we're getting Star Wars for multiple levels of audiences.
Yeah.
Especially since, say it with me now, Star Wars is for kids.
Yeah.
We just happen to be big kids who love it. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that it's spreading. So the last one that we did not get footage for is the Ahsoka Show. Now, people who were there got to see the footage, and there was a leak of the footage, which we saw. It doesn't have a lot because they're still they just started filming, and in fact, like Dave Filoni was wearing his hat on one of the interviews outside after the panel, and he was like, and John was there with John Favreau was there talking with them as well, and they were like, yeah, that why he's got the hat back, right? His cowboy hat. It's because that's his hat when he's in production mode, and he's like, in fact, don't you have to get back on a plane like to go to back to the other side of like back to like New York or wherever they were filming? I forget where they were filming, and he was like, oh yeah, like I got to get back over there like right after this, like literally right after this interview, I'm leaving.
Busy, busy, busy world we live.
Yeah. We did get Rosario Dawson. We got confirmation of who's playing Sabine because we heard a while back that this actress might have been playing Sabine. Confirmed. Because that actress was there. We got Chopper confirmed as being in the show. So everybody's favorite droid, who's also like breaker of every war crime rule ever. And then of course we saw in the leaked footage of the sizzle reel, we saw Hera. Well, the back of Hera's head, which rumored to be played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Obi-Wan Kenobi's wife in real life.
We were discussing it earlier, and I'm like, I know the character's name and what they look like. I have basically the wanted poster information for them, and nothing else.
Yeah. So, yeah, we watched the footage, and there's not a lot. It's literally just to hype you up and be like, look, we're filming it.
It's about
It's like a minute long of but with like almost like, I don't think any talking is in it, if I remember correctly.
there's like what, one line.
Maybe one line of dialogue, and it's from Rosario as Ahsoka. All right, and the last thing is one that we did not expect we would get because there were rumors left and right of whether or not we would get it. But it's a Jedi Fallen Order sequel trailer.
Bam.
And it seems all of the rumors that we have been hearing have been correct because it is called Jedi Survivor.
Also, it may contain
Content inappropriate for children.
children.
It is a rated T video game.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry if you're 12 and under, get out. No, it's fine. I don't care.
Jedi.
Gotta wait till next year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. So
Well, Mr. Speaker, man, to
Well,
answer your
that's
question,
that would be the Grand Inquisitor.
to answer your questions, fuck you. That's why.
But yeah, so Grand Inquisitor is obviously now on the hunt for him.
Yeah.
Obviously since he took down 2nd and 8th and 9th.
Yeah.
So I guess they were like, well, time for the big man.
They're like, okay, I guess this guy might be a problem.
Yeah, we might have to send a Grand Inquisitor instead of the lower numbers.
Yeah.
Which this takes place 5 years after the first game.
Okay.
And I don't know who the gray-haired guy is. That's actually a lot of the discussion that's going on right now is who this character is. That's in the BACTA.
That is a good question.
We think it might just be a new character that we haven't seen before, but of course there's also speculation that it could be Jorah Sabayoth from the Heir to the Empire Legends books, which is a Jedi that's in them. It's the original Thrawn trilogy books. He's also in Outbound Flight, which is part of the Thrawn story in Legends. So he'd be a Legends character making his first canon appearance if they went with Jorah. So that is everything for Star Wars Celebration. I think we got fed some good info for the like. I think
I do love that cutscene where Cal is just getting his ass kicked because like even the game's like data entry for the first one when you meet him for the first time, it's like when you meet Darth Vader, you run because there's nothing else to do.
Yep. All right, so you ready to talk about the High Republic?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So start.
We're gonna start with Volume 2 of the
Okay.
comic because I think that's the best place to start. Because chronologically, that's what happens first. So what? It's issue 6.
Think so?
So we're gonna cover the highlights because we do have a lot to talk about, and I think the real deep dive is gonna be with Rising Storm.
Yeah.
So highlights for Volume 2. It's the first 3 issues cover the Drengir hunt, which is basically the Jedi and Hutts are still in their pact where they're working together.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a messy pact though because the Hutts are constantly making specifically Jedi like Skier frustrated.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And also because of what happened in Volume 1,
Oh.
Chris is a little, or not Chris, hold on. It's,
What's your name? Come on.
Keeve.
Keeve.
Keeve is a
Keeve
little,
Trennis.
yeah, Keeve Trennis is a little, that's why
having-
she's a little hesitant, and
Yeah,
she's like,
I'm so sorry, I fucked everything up. It's all my fault.
yeah, like she is in I'm blaming myself mode.
I'm not as much of a Jedi as I thought I would Jedi.
Yeah. And so she's kind of staying on Starlight
Yeah.
while everybody else has been called
Yeah.
to deal with the
Um,
problem.
I'm over here like, no, Keeve, you did good.
Yeah,
Sometimes these things just don't work out very well.
exactly.
And timing kind of sucks.
And so so she gets a little bit of encouragement from Astala Maru.
Yeah,
Who's-
Astala more.
Astala's like, hey, you know what? I got just the assignment for you to kind of help
Yeah.
out in the meantime. And so she gets sent off to do a different thing
Yeah, go here.
because
don't-
Stellan also wants that help with
Yeah.
that. Because Stellan Stellan is less focused on the Drengir situation. He's like, I gotta prepare for the Republic Fair, make sure everything goes smoothly. Meanwhile, Avar's like, no, the threat is the Drengir, and we need to deal with that.
We have to get these motherfuckers now. Stellan's like, no.
And even though he's a council member, she says, fuck you.
Fuck it. I'll do it myself.
Yeah. So she does. She makes an all call to every Jedi that's in the Outer Rim and is like, hey, if you're out here, let's go deal with the Drengir. And boy, do we get a lot of cameos.
Like
We get Master,
like 8 other Jedi show up.
yeah.
And I don't want
We
to
get we get Wreath Silas and
Yeah.
and Master Comac.
Yep, come back before he is like
Yeah.
done.
So we get Master Comac, and then we get what's his name from the junior novels, because I saw him in there as well.
No, that's a different Jedi, I think.
The Test of Courage books. Begins with a J. It's Vernestra and then her Padawan.
Emery.
Emery. Sorry, E. I don't know where I got a J from. Anyways, Vernestra and Emery are also like
Yeah.
Emery appears. I don't think we see Vernestra, but Emery's there because Emery and Wreath are like there's a shot with them both in it. So I assume Vernestra's somewhere there.
She is.
And so they're like, okay, we may, and so they're busy
They're-
fighting, and it's not going
Yeah,
well.
No.
Meanwhile, Keeve is getting her faith back by getting her butt beat by Nihil pirates.
Yeah.
Does not go well. She's immediately like, man, I suck as a Jedi. I should have been able to get you guys. And that's when we see our favorite little wayfinder, Orla Jareni,
Yeah.
who comes in and saves the day and kind of gives Keeve the pep talk she kind of needs. Not an actual pep talk, but more of a, hey, what's wrong with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Get your stuff together. And
People are dying. I need you to quit being a whiny little bitch.
but that's like the pep
Not
talk.
in the
No,
that
no,
tone.
but
it's
like-
a little bit better. Than
But it's
that.
definitely the talk that Keeve needed
Yeah.
versus what she would have wanted.
Yeah.
So Orla's like, let's go. Let's deal with this.
This is the job.
You gotta
We
be in
have
the
to go
moment.
now.
And so they manage to take down the Nihil, save the people that were taken prisoner, and then they're like they get the call to go help with the Drengir situation. And so they arrive, and of course, apparently Skier and Orla used to be a thing,
Apparently.
which Skier is still dealing with his situation
Oh yeah.
because
The information we find out
yeah.
before all this and before Skier heads out with them is we briefly discussed it, but it was like, yeah, I'm kind of
Connected.
losing it
Oh yeah, that part. Yeah,
at the moment,
yeah,
and I can't feel the Force anymore because of that,
yeah.
and there's nothing that can be done.
And also part of the reason that Keeve is kind of unsure of herself is because she found out where the progenitor was by connecting to Skier's mind, but also in doing so kind of fell to the dark side a little bit in the process.
Mm.
But not as much as,
Yeah.
say, Skier's dealing with. But yeah, we learned that we're about to learn what's going on with Skier, like
Yeah.
the more in depth of why he's having trouble with his force abilities, which he does get rid of the Drengear arm in
Yeah.
this 3 set.
He's like, fuck it, I don't need it anymore.
Yep, and so
Just yanks it out.
they manage to capture the progenitor by, even though the Hutts try to kill it,
Yeah.
they manage to
They're
trap
like,
it into
"No,
a like
all
force.
life is sacred," and I'm like, no, fucking kill it.
But also at the same time, they don't know
you're
how to
Jedi,
yet.
but- Ah, shit, that's right.
It's a little bit of a 1-2. They don't really know how to, because the progenitor is a little bit more powerful than say all the other ones.
Have they tried burning it? With
But
fire?
but also they know that they could easily just trap it again like they did like it was originally, which is what they do. Reith and Comac are like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we've seen this before. We know how to trap it again. Also, they make the pillars a lot bigger than they were in the book. And Into the Dark, the statues are like this because obviously they put them on their ship.
Yeah.
They put them on the vessel, so I would assume they were this big.
I assumed that they
Like, they were like little statuettes.
not that small because they have to go and get
maybe
like stretchers.
maybe this big. Maybe like.
I assumed they were like about a person's height.
But in the comic they make them like full on statues, like full big.
I assumed they were like people size.
But in the comic we see what they look like, at least in the comic perspective.
I just assumed those.
But I assume that's just yeah.
I was like,
That's a little big.
that's a little small.
They were bigger than Comac and. But yeah, so so they trap it, and that's when the treaty ends with the Hutts immediately, because the Hutts are like, no, we must kill it.
Yeah.
And they're like, nope,
Nope, we're not doing that.
treaty over. Thanks.
We said we would help you deal with the Drengear, and you're not fulfilling your end of the bargain, and we've fulfilled ours.
Yep.
That one Hut, or I forget what their name is.
It's,
but they're like, I want him dead. His head on my wall, kind of dead.
Yeah.
Because they're like a trophy hunter, actually, I think.
Yeah, they mentioned Miarga, the Hutt. Miarga.
I don't know if that's actually how it's pronounced.
Well,
but
because it's a written name. We haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Miarga the Merciless.
Oh, well, no wonder.
So yeah. So then we cut away to a little bit in the. So that's the end of that little arc within Volume 2. The second arc we get is a 2-issue arc, and it's Keeve Trennis going undercover as a Nihil,
Oh, yeah.
along with Sarah.
One of them.
I want to make sure I get it right. We are going to be accurate. I think it's actually Tarek. Yeah, it's Tarek. So yeah, so once again.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, we'll finish this arc, but then we'll explain what happened. So this arc actually takes place after the Rising Storm.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the 3-issue arc that we had in Volume 2, they deal with the reveal that something bad happened at the Republic Fair, and the Nihil attacked and boo boy.
Yeah.
And so the second arc in this starts in media res, where it starts with Keeve and Tarek as part of the Nihil.
Yeah. And my immediate thought was bullshit.
And immediately they do a flashback to reveal, yes, it is in fact bullshit.
I was like, man, y'all better sell this real good.
So the explanation is that obviously Avar's reasonably upset that, hey, something went really bad. Yeah, I was right. It is Tarek. Something went really bad. We need to deal with the Nihil. Because this is a problem now. We dealt with the Drengir problem. Now we must deal with the Nihil problem. And also, Avar kind of blames herself for not being there at the Republic Fair because she was off dealing with the Drengir.
Yeah.
And Stellan once again trying to be the voice of reason is like, no, we will deal with them when we need to. We need to slow down and do a proper investigation. We've already dealt with their main bases, so this should slow them down for now. And obviously, Avar's having none of that. So, in order to kind of go around Stellan's head, Keeve and Tarek decide, hey, we're going to go undercover, and we will pretend to fight you guys and shoot at you guys, only to then, get picked up by the actual Nihil and kind of earn their trust and get some information from them. In terms of figuring out who the new Eye is, because as far as they believe, Lorna D has been dealt with, but they're not sure if she's been dealt with. Because they believe Lorna D's the Eye, not Markion.
Yeah. They don't.
Because they don't even know Markion exists.
The plan works insofar as they got them surrounded by Nihil.
Yeah, because they basically they get trusted at first.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, we have this hut that worked with the Jedi earlier that we've been interrogating, and it's Miarga.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you should do the interrogation. And no, let's forget interrogating her. Just kill her. And they're like, don't know about that. And then that's when our Jedi show up, because they sense from Tarek where they are, because Saret's with them. So Avar and Skier and a few other Jedi are there, because there's 2 other Jedi on the ship. And so this is actually when we learn what's going on with Skier.
Yeah.
Because he gets a call from Dr. Janole, who's like, hey, bud, so it turns out you are losing your connection to the Force.
Yes.
Because you are, I forget what the term was, but it's a Trandoshan thing where basically it has to do with them going basically more lizard brain.
Yeah.
But thankfully, because of the Force, Skier has been able to avoid that effect, but at the cost of the Force.
Yeah. It's
basically the Force is taking the place
of slowing down his Alzheimer's with space magic, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's why he can't use space magic at the moment.
Yeah, because he's paying the cost of what would be the loss of his brain.
His mana bar is all empty.
Yeah, he's losing his... he's keeping his brain at the cost of his space magic.
Yeah. And I think that's a fair trade if you have that and you can delay that.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not gonna work forever.
No. Unfortunately, Skier is also very much still led by his emotions, because he is a Trandoshan, and because Trandoshans are known to act the way he does. And also, he's just a person. People tend to be emotional, and since he's losing his connection to the Force, he figures, hey, I've got nothing to lose.
Fuck it. Give me my daughter back.
Yeah. And so, because Miarga gives away the game.
Yeah,
and it's
Miarga sells them out.
As she's dying, she's like, "Ha, you idiots! You have a
spite.
Jedi with you the whole time," and then she dies.
Yep. And so
that's when they're like, "Hey,
This is the first time they use
the Nameless,
the leveler."
Yeah.
That was fucking scary, man. I was like, well, no wonder they can't fucking use the Force with this thing.
Actually, technically, it's the second time, because technically the Rising
First,
Storm happens first, but
it's the first time I've seen a visual depiction of it. I'm like, no fucking wonder they can't use the Force. Fuck this.
Yeah, so we get to see what it's like when a Jedi is scared. A Jedi being scared sucks. But yeah, so
I'd rather have an angry Jedi than a scared Jedi.
And unfortunately, because Tarek and Sarah are connected, Tarek is actually affected by it, unlike whereas Keeve is managing to fight it off.
Yeah.
And
Well,
unfortunately,
Keeve is managing to hold on to her sense of self.
barely.
Barely.
Unfortunately, Tarek is getting lost and does start to get turned into stone. I forget what they called it in the
I'm just husking.
yeah, husking. So Tarek starts to get husked, and unfortunately, so does Sarah to a semi degree, not to
Yeah.
the same degree.
Not to the same degree, but it's not great.
Like Sarah's in a
They're
coma.
both out of commission.
Yeah, like Sarah's put in a coma, and Tarek is actually husked, kind of. But it's not as bad of a husk as, say, like some other characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's not as bad, Caleb.
Because Avar, basically, Skier comes in, guns ho, shooting at anybody and everything.
If it moves, it dies.
Whereas Avar was like, no, we got to go in carefully. Nope.
And Skier's like, my options are limited. What are you talking about?
And then, of course, when Avar realizes that Lorna D was there,
And she's like, actually, as a matter of fact, I agree with you.
let's capture Lorna D.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that fails because Skier is busy helping Tarek and Keeve, who are both, well, in the case of Keeve, really weakened, and in the case of Tarek, cannot move.
And this is where Avar went down a few points.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Can you figure out why?
Is it her blaming Skier for losing Lorna and also kicking Skier out of the Jedi, essentially?
Nope. It's not that. That happens afterward. It is.
Well, she doesn't try to kill Lorna. She's trying to.
Nope. It's not that. I would have been fine with that.
I'm trying to remember what specifically.
At the time, she is trying to snag Lorna D's
Yeah,
ship.
she's trying to grab the ship.
What else is going on? What is Skier saying to her?
Oh, to help with Keeve and
To help
Tarek
with Keeve and Tarek, who are, you know,
dying.
dying. And I'm like, well, I understand how you got to the rank of Marshal. I understand how you're going to lose it, too.
Yeah, because she's in a way putting the. So
It's
in a way, I get it because it is still within the Jedi. It's unfortunately still within the Jedi mentality to do what she's doing,
Yeah.
which is put the mission to a degree before the lives of other Jedi. Because as a Jedi, you kind of agree that my life is forfeit.
fuck the mission.
Now whether that should be true,
It's one thing that the Jedi.
but it is one of the things that they agreed that hey, my
It's
life is
fairly
forfeit as long as other people live. Unfortunately, Avar is kind of looking at this the wrong way. I do agree. Where Avar goes down a peg for me is more of what happens in Volume 3 and less of what happens in this volume. But it's also at the same time, Volume 3, she only goes down a peg and then immediately goes back up half a peg because she does redeem herself a little bit in Volume 3. But that's a discussion for
We'll
when
get
we get
there.
there. But yeah, so obviously she fails to get Lorna D because we have an entire audio book or audio drama rather to get to that will deal with what happens with the Lorna D of it all, and also Volume 3.
But
So yeah, that's the events. So Lorna D escapes. Tarek and Sarah are not great, but they're alive.
yeah, they're in the ICU equivalent.
Yeah, they're in comas.
Yeah.
And according to Janole, they'll live. They just don't know by how much,
Yeah.
or how to bring them back. So it's
They're
basically like being
they went
yeah.
into like a healing meditation. We don't know how long it'll take.
yeah. And then Keeve,
Keeve is
basically
over here
Keeve gets
having-
mad at Skier, kind of rightfully. Like he did kind of go too far in the, like he forgot the objective. For a minute. For a minute, he forgot the objective. And it did kind of risk a little bit of stuff. Now the question is, would they have gotten Lorna still if he had like focused up? I don't think so. I think Lorna
From
still.
what I've seen,
I think Lorna
they
still would-
try the same shit later on, and it still fails.
Like I think Lorna still would have got away.
probably.
Now, but would the results have maybe been a little bit better? Who knows?
Who knows?
But I do think she's in her right.
Flashbang would fuck a Jedi up.
Yeah.
But
I think she
would do the
is.
same to most
Yeah.
people.
I do think she is still in the right to not really demote Skier, but be like, hey, you're on leave,
Yeah.
which he does need.
Yeah.
He needs the leave. He needs to rest, meditate, whatever, and focus, like, kind of find peace with himself. Of course, Keeve is upset because she doesn't know what's actually going on yet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because he hasn't told her.
because he hasn't told her. And we'll get to that in Volume 3. But first, Rising Storm. Let's take a quick break real quick, because
All right.
this is a longer episode. And we'll come back with the Rising Storm and then Volume 3. All right, we're back.
We're back.
Thank you guys for waiting on us.
Yeah.
All right, so Rising Storm is where we left off.
Yes.
So I will let you cover that one, and we'll kind of just do the main beats.
Belzetifar is sad that his master is gone, presumed dead.
Yes.
That is the opening chapter, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he is adjusting to Indira Stokes being his new master and things kind of going on about.
Yeah, he's kind of a moped at this point.
And so, fuck, I forgot what happened. Oh, that's right, he gets stabbed.
Actually, correction. The first scene is not that. It's Elzar prologue
Oh,
having a dream,
right,
his vision, and him getting into a thing with Avar.
yeah, they have an argument, don't they? And so, Elzar's like, man, fuck this, I gotta go swimming.
Yep.
Because Elzar's solution whenever he needs to think is to apparently go to the ocean and try to drown himself? Or damn near it.
No, he basically does the Coast Guard thing where you go under and see how long you can hold your breath.
Then he comes up and he does it again. And again and again.
Elzar's just prepping to be part of the Coast Guard. That's all. He's good.
And so, eventually, he's like, alright, Valo, that's where I have to go.
Yep. That is where they are working on the Republic Fair.
Mhm.
Because Chancellor Lena So is doing her Great Works projects. And, of course, the first one has been a success, Starlight Beacon. So it is time to do the next one, which is the Republic Fair.
Mhm.
And this is basically all part of that initiative of We Are the Republic and, trying to expand into the Outer Rim a little bit better. And since Vilo's an Outer Rim world, what better way to show support of the Outer Rim than have the Republic Fair there? So
This will come to bite them in the ass in the future.
So yeah. So are we gonna focus on particular character stories, or are we gonna go?
No, let's just say fuck it and go everywhere.
Okay, because I was gonna kind of focus on Elzar for a moment of him kind of being a fuckboy.
Mm-hmm. Elzar.
He is a well-loved character within the fan base, but he is a fuckboy.
Listen, Elzar.
I guess you can get away with it when you're attractive, though.
Sometimes you need to not think with your dick.
Sometimes maybe your heartbreak doesn't mean you should go sleep with the next person you meet.
Yep.
But yeah, because he starts sleeping with his aide or
Samara?
assistant. Yeah, Samara. Yeah,
I don't think she's an aide to him.
But,
I think
like,
she's...
like they're working together, and
Yeah.
is technically above her. And
Don't sleep with your coworkers.
yeah, especially if you are technically their boss.
Yeah. Pro tip.
Don't sleep with subordinates because that's a little bit of power
There's
leverage.
some fuckery there.
Yeah.
And not the kind
And
that
it-
you're trying for.
And like I don't think Elzar is
No, he's
purposely using his
not doing that.
but like it's there whether he knows it or not.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's doing this just to distract. Like the book makes it really clear. This is to distract him from his feelings of Avar.
Mm.
Like he knows this because he actively thinks it every time he's hooking
like,
up with her.
Damn it. Oh.
Like, in fact, he has to push away his thoughts of Avar when he's hooking up
Yep.
with her. Like, there's a scene of him doing that where he's like, oh, I can't be thinking about Avar.
Nope. Different person. Can't. Nope. Don't do that.
But yeah.
And then there's Belle. Belle's being sad.
Yeah, because he's kind of given up on the idea of finding his master,
Yeah.
which is definitely a difference between this and Fallen Star, obviously, when he learns that, hey, we learn later on that, hey, Loden's not dead yet.
Yeah. Essentially, he's been like trying to look for him in the afterlife, but it can't find him there because he's not there.
And like he says that like, oh, I know my master's not dead, but then everybody else is like, yeah, he is, and he's like, okay, I guess he's dead then.
Yeah. I love that later on in the series when someone tries to tell them that he's like, as a matter of fact,
No,
fuck you.
because last time you guys told me that, you were wrong. Yeah, when they try to tell him Buryaga's dead.
He's like, fuck that. He's like, I want proof.
Body or else it didn't happen.
Yeah. And so
basically, him and Indira are also kind of assigned to go to Valo because like kind of
they're
sort of
stationed on Cyclor,
yeah, that's right.
which is a shipyard on Valo.
Yeah,
So they're already there, I think.
yeah.
And so the Nihil attack, this time it does not go well for the Nihil, but there's only one ship. It almost kills Wreath. Not Wreath. Wreath's not here.
No, he's
out in the Outer Rim.
He is around somewhere, just not in this book.
He's in the Outer Rim, but not here.
Yeah.
And what Bell gets essentially harpooned.
Yeah. So do we want to talk what our villains are up to?
Yeah. At this time,
Because at this time, Markion Rose having a little bit of a leadership issue.
yeah,
Uh,
Panetta's like, come on, man.
why are we not attacking the Republic yet?
Why haven't we, done anything for like 3 months?
Because it's all part of the plan, and it requires patience, and we'll get to it. But for now, they need to think that we're basically that we
lost.
That we lost. Yeah.
Pan's like,
Nah, fuck that.
fuck it.
So he starts immediately planning to undermine Markion and try to get some paths. That way he can use them specifically for the Cycler's shipyards, I think is what happens, right? I think Panetta's involved with that.
He sends one ship to the shipyards.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
But ultimately, his big goal is to mess with the Republic Fair, because Panetta
Yep.
is involved with that, yeah.
Meanwhile, Markion snags a crew member from someone, and is like, "Hey, man, you guys, your species is pretty good with this whole forest and navigational thing."
Yeah. Also, Panetta's in trouble because he's been accused of undermining the rule of 3
Ah, okay. On what
by
ground?
Udi. Because remember, Udi says, hey, you broke the rule of 3 in terms of, like, how they're supposed to get their
Oh, yeah.
cuts. Yeah.
All these rules of numbers: the rule of 1, the rule of 2, the rule of 3. Where are you gonna stop at 5,
But yeah.
7, maybe?
But, I mean, so a lot of that's going on. And then, of course, Lorna D is trying to undermine both of them.
Yep.
But also,
Lorna
like,
D is
like,
being
but-
a traitor
but also,
to everyone.
but also
Lorna D.
Lorna is playing it smart in that she's taking Markion's side in the Panetta situation.
Yep.
Because she's like, well, how do I get Panetta out of the way? She's like, I could deal with Markion by myself. I need to get Panetta out first.
Markion's like, "Hey, Panetta, could you hold onto this helmet for me?" He rips that motherfucker in half after a while.
Yeah.
I'm over here like, holy shit.
So, and then Nibasik and Buryaga are also joining Stellan on Coruscant Dawn,
Yeah.
where they are making their way to the final destination of Valo.
Mm-hmm.
We also have, I can't remember if she's in this. Yeah, Tyorik is in this book.
Yorick. And we find her in the swamps being asked questions.
Yeah.
Not asked questions, asking questions, because some people want to hire her for a job.
Yeah.
And she's doing the thing that I've done for some of my characters in like different RPG games. I'm like, depending on your answer to this question, I may choose to just say fuck it and leave you alone.
Yeah. And then, trying to remember who else Major is around. Do we see? No.
See Noonan Baraka.
Yeah, I've got the list
We
of characters
see,
up.
Porter Engel
Oh yeah, Ram Jamaram makes his
He's
first
there.
appearance.
in prison.
Yeah, in prison. He meets Ty there.
We also meet a character I
would-
don't necessarily disagree with, but I neither like nor dislike them. I understand. Senator Toon, I think.
Oh yeah, Tia Toon. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually I kind of get it, man.
Yeah, the Sinister Solist.
Yeah. I'm like, all right. At first I was like, okay, are they just going to make this guy like kind of
Yeah,
greedy?
like, but in
or-
reality, he just wants.
he's like,
he
no,
wants.
we need
He wants
a
separation of church
backup
and state,
plan.
essentially,
He's like, we need a backup plan for when the Jedi
are gone.
are gone.
Which
He's
is
like,
not.
I'm fine with the Jedi being here and doing their job
and helping us,
and helping us. That's cool.
but we need
But
our
if
own.
they're not around, we're fucked.
Yeah, because he wants the Republic Defense Coalition to be more than just what it is right
Yeah,
now.
which is basically scraps.
Yeah, they're not really a standing army because the Republic does not get an army, an actual army, until the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
At least in canon. In Legends, they've had armies before, but they've always like got rid of them after
Yeah,
the
it's
wars.
more like, all right, war's over, no more need for it. And Tia Toon is, I'm like, I get it, man.
But the RDC is more of a really small
Yeah.
core, not an actual.
It's more like if you took maybe 20 police stations.
If I would say it's a little more than that, but
well,
it's still
yeah, because it's a galaxy, but the idea is
Well, I meant like it's more like it's on a higher level than I'd say police, but it's like somewhere between police and military. It's like
so like
not quite either.
SWAT.
Even higher than that, arguably, because they have like actual military weaponry, but like because we see that in Light of the Jedi. Because Light of the Jedi, they've got pretty good equipment.
Mm.
But yeah, they just aren't able to stand as a military because they don't have the numbers. They don't really
Yeah.
have the type of resources you would think. I mean, I would argue that the Nihil aren't army worthy yet either, but like, I think the Jedi could take them, and I think RDC can take them. But an actual standing army isn't a terrible idea either. I would argue not even a standing army, just being able to figure out a way to kind of let the Jedi do their own thing and not
Yeah.
rely on them. We do get a flashback of Asgar, Markion's father.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Now we kind of know why Markion turned out as much of an asshole as he
Yeah.
did.
Help me, son. Bam!
Which we also get to see that again in Volume 3 of the...
This is just over here like, fuck you. Bam, bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam, bam.
Uh,
I'm like, I've never seen a child stomp out their own dad. But from what I'm hearing, he probably deserved it.
so Ty Yorick is hired to help with Zarabarb, right? The Grand? No, that's the Grand Nihil who's in prison with Ram.
Yeah, no.
Who is it that I can't remember who Ty got.
They are, God,
Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Don't worry.
they're inventors. The first thing she does is go kill a Drengir, and then they're like, can we hire your services?
That's right. Triv Blago to capture a Gundark, which we saw that. Okay, we saw the Rockweaver story. That's Wigtown.
Yeah.
Man, they don't got a lot of info on that one. Okay, thanks. Thanks for the help. Okay. I think it was a senator though that she got hired because she was hired to
No,
somebody's daughter.
they're meeting with Tia Toon, the senator,
Okay.
because she has an invention and she doesn't want things to go sideways.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
Oh yeah. I forgot that Mr. Toon's secretary, and everyone's like, "That's not a secretary. That's a bodyguard."
Yep.
Is that point is like brought up like 8 different times in the book. He's like, "This is my secretary." Everyone's like, "No, no, it's not."
Yeah.
We can see the blaster pistol out of the belt.
So do we want to talk about what the big problem for this book is? Do we want to talk about the big disaster?
Sure.
And because I am curious on your thoughts now that we finally get to see what happened. So, the Nihil and the Drinker attack.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Nihil have control of the Dringir.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why it's a good thing that Avar was busy solving the Dringir problem of the progenitor stuff, because that does end up coming to help them when it comes to dealing with this. Because progenitor out of the way, there is no hive mind to control the rest of the Dringir.
Yeah, so they just kind of...
Which they do mention in this book, the Hutt Jedi Alliance.
Yeah, and they're like, we're not really...
They like say, oh yeah, the Hutt Jedi Alliance is going on, but that's...
Don't worry about it.
Which I think that's one of the clever things that the High Republic stuff media is doing is like, you can just read the main books. You could just read the main books and you'd understand most of the story fine. You don't really need to deep dive the way we do, but it's just fun to have all this extra information.
Yeah. Once again, the Jedi being like, the Chancellor, are you guys making deals with
Hutts?
with gangsters in the back room?
Yeah, but we kind of need to.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Uh,
We're dealing with space fly traps.
Also, our boy Torben Buck is here, so Buckets of Blood. Buckets of Blood! I feel like he's a wrestler.
He's just... I'd pay to see that.
But yeah, so let's kind of...
Yeah.
So, yeah, so what are your thoughts on the disaster itself? And, like, so basically, they kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's probably not what you were building up to.
No, I've seen worse, but that's not good.
But I mean, because we up to this point we were building up well, it has to be somewhere between this and that. It's really not. It's honestly less. It's greater in an effect when it comes to morale.
Yeah.
But it's less of a
In
actual
terms of,
numbers.
Numbers and actual thing, because I'm like, that's how it would probably work. It's not about. This was supposed to be.
This wasn't
a
about the
big
numbers to Markion.
show of like unity and, hey, we can actually be friends with each other. None of that.
Because once again, Markion's not playing. He's playing a different game.
Yeah, Markion's not in it for like the raids or the glory,
or even killing the numbers.
He hates the Republic.
Yeah.
His goal is to hurt them
hates
as
the Republic,
much as possible.
Hates the Republic, hates the Jedi, hates what they stand for. And so what's the best way to do that? Well, it doesn't matter how many people you kill. You got to destroy their morale.
Yeah. Break the spirit and the body will follow.
So that's what he goes for.
Yeah.
So he breaks the morale, he wins.
Yep.
And
he tries real hard.
And honestly, I would say it's successful by the end of this book because I mean, the Jedi are still mostly still hopeful.
Yeah.
But barely. And the only reason that the Republic starts to kind of go back into good morale is because they think they killed them. They destroyed the Nihil by the end of this book, because
which we know
isn't true, because it's basically the way things go down. Well, let's talk about what Elzar does.
Elzar.
Because basically a big battle occurs where all of basically Pan-8 has been tricked into leading this assault here, and because basically Panetta's been like, I can't wait to do damage, so I'm gonna go get some paths from,
Yeah.
and he figures out a way to get paths from Mari Senteca, and he's like, I'm gonna use those paths to go cause destruction. We're gonna go to the Republic Fair and mess that up. Turns out Mark Allen, that's exactly what he wants.
Also, Chancellor So as a kid,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I didn't really know that until this book either. Yeah, Ketrip.
That was wild.
Yeah, Ketrip, which they do save.
Yes, he is alive at the end of the book, and so is his newfound friend,
Yeah,
who
And-
may become more.
yeah. Hey now.
I don't know. That's between them.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, so big battle occurs. Elzar's in the middle of it,
Has had
And-
enough.
and he's working with Ty York at this
Yeah.
point in the fight, and he pulls a ray, a little bit of that lightning, and a little bit of that anger goes a long way. Well, not lightning, but
It's not lightning.
but he pulls it from the sky. That
I
ship,
don't recall.
like
any
the ship.
lightning.
Well, no, but the way they describe it, it's pretty dark, like anger, like
No, it's like devastating in its effect. That motherfucker threw an island at people.
yeah, he threw an island at a ship, and then
It died.
the ship
The
crashed.
ship died.
Yeah, it died. But also because it's a ship that was in the air, other people died,
Yeah.
and that's when Elzar's like, "Oh crap, I went too far,"
Yeah, he's like, oh no.
and he immediately goes to Ty, and he's like, "What do
Look,
I do?
I need help, man.
How do I fix this?" And Ty's like,
Why would you
"Why me? I'm not a Jedi."
why would you ask me?
Because so throughout the book, him and Ty have kind of been forming this friendship.
Oh yeah, she nearly kills him.
Yeah, throughout the book, they've been forming this friendship.
She beats
And-
their
yeah,
ass,
yeah.
actually.
And also, he's been, of course, because it's Elzar. He flirts with everybody.
funny.
He flirted with her, didn't work.
Yeah, no.
Not her type.
Nah. Someone is.
She
though.
does think that she's like, I do see the attraction, just not for me.
Yeah. She's like aesthetically very pleased. However, I'm not interested.
And so yeah, like they form a friendship still though, and so Ty's like, look, I'll look into your mind and help you out a little
Alright,
bit
I'll
and calm
give
you
you a
down,
hand.
but I can't. I can't.
I don't actually know how to fix this, but I can get you through
This moment. It's the moment that I can help you with. So she helps calm him down.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, she runs away at the start
Yeah.
and then comes back and is like, I actually need your help to save like these animals so that they don't, murder the shit out of people.
Yeah. So because they're on Valo, there's also a zoo
Yeah.
as part of the Republic Fair's events, and the zoo animals got free.
Yeah. Elzar is talking ghost and visits a Hrag scythe. I don't know what that looks like. But he's like, it's a conversation I've had with one of my stepfathers, and I'm like, do you know how pissed off I would be as a tiger if some asshole put me in a clear box to look at me all day?
Yeah.
It's that line of thinking, and he's like, yeah, you go be angry, Hrag scythe. It's perfectly understandable.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's the Elzar of it all, and that's why he kind of goes into exile at the start of
Yeah.
of book 3.
This is one of those times where I'm like, no, I understand why you went to the dark side. This situation is fucked
Yeah.
in like every possible way.
So yeah. So he comes back from that
Yeah.
a little bit, but he's still like taking it hard.
Yeah.
So
Stellan
eventually, yeah, Stellan is on Chancellor So duty,
Yeah,
making sure she's safe with her Tygarns.
And a bodyguard from.
Yeah.
Is it DeWooten or
Well, I mean, it's
Solas?
basically that cover of the spread cover I have for my copy. It's him with the Tygorns and the bodyguard protecting Lena
Yeah.
So.
And the fucking best.
God,
thing,
I love the Tygorns.
the fucking best thing is that the guard captain, apparently in the like spear axe thing that he's got, apparently there's just a fucking disruptor in there.
Yep.
He did not come to play. First Nihil is just instantly, bam, gone.
Pretty sure disruptors are normally illegal.
Well, it's a good thing they're not part of the Republic.
Uh,
Neither are the Nihil.
so at the end of it, they do manage to like save the day on this part. He'll go into retreat, and Pan-Ada's like, all right, I got to get out of here. Hey, Markion, help me out. And Markion's like, sure, totally, buddy. I'll send you somewhere that we can help you out.
Nope.
Sends him into a trap, essentially, where basically sends him to this planet where they do fight. Like Pan-Ada and Markion do have an argument.
Yeah.
Markion wins. Markion leaves him to basically die.
Yeah.
And then the Jedi show up.
It's like, fuck.
And yeah, so another big battle occurs on this planet. And then Markion is like, hey, we should probably do a test of our new weapon.
Before we do that, so the invention that Tyoric is...
Oh, yes. Talk about the invention that Tyoric has been safekeeping.
Yeah. Not kind of safekeeping.
Well, been hired to make sure gets where it needs to.
So, the inventor, whose name I don't remember, and Tia Toon meet up above this bar to discuss it. And this is where the aforementioned fight between Elzar Stellangios and Belzetafar versus Tyoric happens. And what it does is essentially it is capable of shutting off any energy-based weapon, including lightsabers.
Which is why the Light Jedi are kind of concerned.
That's not why they should be concerned.
But it is a part
It
of
is
it.
a problem.
It's a part of it.
But it is not the most concerning thing about it.
It wasn't our boy Kevon. Did Kevon make
No.
it?
He did not.
Okay. I was about to say, I didn't think it was.
Because the inventor is a woman.
That's right. Yeah, I'm looking.
Is it Claren?
With a...
K-E-K-L-E-E?
Oh, I saw. I think I saw the name just a second ago. Yeah, it was It's Claren Checkett.
Yep. That's her name. And so she created this thing, and she's like, all right, Senator Toon, you want to buy this? And he's like, all right, how does it work? And she's like, oh, it's powered by Ricanium. And he immediately goes, what? Why would you use that?
Yeah. Because that's basically like using uranium.
Yeah. And he's like, you shut that damn thing off right now. And she's like, but I thought this is what you wanted. And he's like, I didn't want to give everyone radiation poisoning. Turn it off.
Ricanium is illegal, only in its raw form, in every form, and for good reason.
Yeah. And I'm like, I was like, this is the moment where I'm like, oh, Tia Toon isn't like an asshole. He actually is just like,
Yeah, because if Tia Toon was actually a bad person,
he'd be like, yeah, we'll use it.
yeah.
But he's like, no, shut that damn thing off.
Yeah. And so yeah. So let's go back to the battle above, I want to make sure I get the name of the world correct. Grizzle.
Yeah.
The battle above, the battle of Grizzle, which Lorna D also is like, oh, this is very similar to the Battle of Kerr, so
Goodbye.
goodbye. I remember how that turned out.
It's like, this didn't work out well. I'm just gonna leave.
And so, yeah, our boy Pan-Ada gets the brunt of it, and is left for dead, which turns out he's not, because I think he appeared in something that we've seen since.
Pan-Ada gets to the back of his starship because he's like, I had Ascaro build me an escape pod.
Yeah.
He's dead, isn't he?
I'll say yes.
Because I don't think he is, since it's ambiguous.
It's ambiguous. The book leaves it ambiguous
Yeah.
for good reason.
And because he's poisoned, he's had the shit beat out of him.
Yeah,
But I don't. He's going back to his home planet.
Yeah, basically as a retreat move.
Yeah,
Um,
because he had Asgaro go and built that in for him.
yeah, and so
He
at this
fucks
point,
over his
yeah,
own crew by
and-
doing this.
yeah, at this point, and so of course, Markion seeing that this is now a losing battle, which was fine with him for the most
Yeah.
part, because this was a get rid of Panada and weaken the Jedi at the same time
Yeah.
move. He's like, so one less person on his checklist of people to murder, because he's got one more Tempest left on that checklist.
He's like, I don't know which of you did it, but fuck you. Also,
I helped finish the job.
yeah, I'm like,
It's like, if you're gonna kill my dad, at least do the whole job.
yeah.
um,
Oh yeah, he's having weird visions or something
yeah.
throughout like the entire thing. He's like, I hate this.
And so he's like, let's test our new weapon.
Yeah.
The Nameless /
The leveler.
Leveler, which we'll talk about the Leveler a lot more when we get to Volume 3.
The scare.
Yeah. And so, yeah, his test subject would, of course, be our boy Loden Greatstorm. Now Loden's dead.
Yeah.
And in fact, his body is seen this time by poor Bell.
Mm-hmm. Bell is also out of commission because he was pretty close to the leveler.
But of
Like,
course,
they find him curled up in a ball.
I think it has less. I think that it's partly to do with the Leveler, but it's also more to
Also,
do
his
with
Master's now dead for
actual.
real.
Yeah, he has now lost his master twice.
Yeah. Also, Loden got fucked up.
Yeah, because they touched.
Like months.
Yeah, he got tortured for months, and then when he does get husked, they try to pick him up,
Yeah.
only for him to immediately dissolve into dust.
It's one of those like real brutal moments of like, really?
My boy Loden.
He was a good.
Loden was my boy. When these books came out, we were listening to the first book when it first came out,
Yeah.
and I was like, we were listening, and we remember we would be in the car, and we'd be like, yes, Loden is awesome. And then book 2 came out, and I never told you guys what happened to him. This is what happened to him.
Loden. So you remember how Loden was like, "We'll do this as many times as it takes." I'm like, that is what, like, I think a good teacher is.
No, and he's absolutely a great teacher.
It's that like kind of argument where I've had like, intelligence isn't genetic.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by like a good teacher can teach almost anything.
Yep. So yeah, so we end with a very, very High Republic
People
bittersweet
are
ending where people are kind of
damn near broken.
Yeah,
but they're still there.
yeah, and they're still like, you know what? There's still hope because we
Yep.
defeated the Nihil on Grizzle, and that was their big base as far
Yeah.
as we know.
We've won, but whew,
We're still gonna
cost
keep an eye out.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the Rising Storm in a very brief synopsis.
Yeah.
Okay, Volume 3 has to be even more brief.
Oh, yep.
So we I gotta look because it's been a.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just them on the hunt for. And actually, this would be the 2-parter that we already talked about a little bit, of them saving. Saving Kiev and them.
Oh God, I forgot that fucking image right there of Avar.
Yeah.
She's could use a moment to chill.
Yeah, so of course they now get the call to go deal. This is during the so this will go from the events of a little bit after Rising Storm to the Fallen Star, and after. So we start with them on the hunt for Lorna D. Stellan is like, "Hey, you need to get back." She's like, "Nope."
And he's like, all right.
And
Tried.
Avar has created a team of people to go with her to find Lorna because they figured out about the no space,
Yeah.
which is the main base. Which by this point, even Markion's kind of been like, "Okay, we're done with it.
He's like, we can't stay here anymore.
Take it. Don't want it."
I got the gaze electric. I'll be fine.
Yeah. Keeve has a talk with Skier where she kind of gives him a pep talk and is like, and also Skier tells her what's been going on.
Yeah, he's like, all right, here's the truth.
And Keeve's like, well, I still think you can still be a Jedi for as long as you can, and that you taught me that
Yeah.
you shouldn't just give up like this. Once again, another good. High Republic is just filled with good teachers
Yeah.
and also very responsive students.
Yeah.
And so Estella is like, hey, keep an eye out on Avar.
I think she's going crazy.
She might be going too far.
Yeah, she
You
might
need-
be going a bit.
You need
Extreme.
to make sure that she doesn't go too far.
Yeah.
So she manages to convince Skier to go with her, to go with Avar. And Avar's like, well, I'm not sure about Skier. And Keeve's like, I'll watch both of you, okay? I'll keep an eye on both of you if that's
Yeah.
what it takes.
And so,
So they go to No Space,
yeah.
and where they run into Lorna D and the Tempest that replaced the first guy from Light of the Jedi,
Yeah.
who got his ass.
Kassav is
Yeah,
dead.
Kassav. So the guy who replaced Kassav, who was in
Kassav's
Volume
dead.
2.
Pineda is missing.
Yeah, but this is the guy who replaced Kassav specifically
Yeah.
because he was in Volume 2. Because he was the guy that they were believed to be working with, the guy with the suit. Anyways,
and so
so
the assault on No
yeah.
Space.
yeah, not basically. Mark, they're on a phone call with Markion, who's like, "Hey, good luck,
He's like,
bye,"
"Goodbye."
and they're like, "Crap!" And Lorna D's like, "What? We're Nihil. We can do this."
Like, they're coming to us. Why would we run?
And whereas the other Tempest Runner's like, I need my suit. And she's like, well, you're not really much of a Nihil if you need your suit. Here's a gun. And she goes off.
She's like, quit being a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And so this
and
is
I'm like,
this is where Avar quickly becomes a lot like her boyfriend Elzar.
yeah.
She just does. She goes into
She's
it.
like, fuck it. I'm done. I'm just gonna kill.
She straight up kills the other Tempest Runner. And she's about to basically do the same to Lorna until Keeve interrupts.
It's like, wait, no. We're Jedi. We don't
do this.
Do that unless there's no other option.
And Avar's just like, well, there is no other option.
Everyone's like, what do you mean other option?
And Keeve's like, but there is. And she, like, Keeve goes so far to force push Avar into a wall.
Keeps like, we're not straight out of options yet.
Yeah.
Just wait a little bit.
So, anyways, they end up, Avar ends up coming to her senses after Lorna,
Yeah.
who is now in the armor, knocks out Keeve.
And she's like, all right.
Well, this is for Keeve, this is for Skier, this is for Sarah and Tarek. And then they arrest her.
Yep.
So they bring her back aboard the Jedi cruiser. I forget the name of it. It's the one that we see in Fallen Star. And now we're gonna find out what was going on in the background during the Fallen Star situation, which is basically them just trying to deliver Lorna, only for them to realize, oh, we just need to save people that are on on Starlight Beacon because it's crashing. So
Yeah.
they save people.
Yep.
The end of that story.
The end of that.
And
And
then we get
then-
to Eye of the Nihil two-parter, where we learn about Markion's past. So we learn about his race, where they come from.
Mhm.
We learn that they've always had an iffy history with the Republic,
Yeah.
because basically on their own planet they don't even trust each other.
Yeah, they're like,
Like, they used to trust each other, then wars happened, and then they were like, well, now we
a
don't
big
trust each
disaster
other.
happened, and then a war happened, and then they were like, fuck trusting people. It never works
And that
out.
just works for everybody. We don't trust anybody, even family.
Yep.
And so
If you put your trust in them,
You're
you're
weak.
fucked.
And so they end up going with the Republic, same
Yep.
situation. They don't believe anybody. They don't trust Jedi. They don't trust the Republic. And because of how they're used to living, the Republic sees them as criminals and hunts basically
Yeah.
most of them down to near extinction. And that brings us to Avar's grandmama and Papa and Papa killing grandmama.
You mean Marchion?
No, Markion.
You said Avar.
Oh, sorry, Markion.
Yeah, I was like,
So we-
Avar's grandmother.
No,
killed
sorry.
her grandfather?
Sorry. We learned Markion. Sorry. So we get to
Damn.
Markion's family where Markion kills his grandmama and papa, and well, his dad kills his grandma, and then he kills his dad.
Yep.
And then and it's all for the same position, because his Asgard kills his grandma, kills his mom, so that way he can take control of the Nihil,
Yeah.
because he's like, look, we're taking too long. We need to start make the Nihil bigger, because the Nihil is too small.
Yep.
So he makes the Nihil bigger, he starts the rule of three, and shows them, hey, we've got the paths. That's why the rule of three is going to exist.
Yep.
So
He's like, look, we only want 1/10 of whatever y'all bring in when I
Yep.
give you the paths.
and then eventually, Lorna D makes an attempt to kill Asgard. Asgard's still kind of alive, and Markion finds him and is like, "Oh, yeah, no, dead.
Yeah.
I'm in charge now." And also now it's going to be more than 10%.
Like, we got a new system in place. It's called
Whatever I say.
It's called whatever it says.
And then so then we get into like a little bit just before the events of I guess Rising Storm,
Yeah.
which is him leading specific Nihil that he trusts,
Yes.
because he basically makes a cult within the Nihil that are specifically followers of him,
Yeah, they're loyal to him.
and he's like, all right, we're going to go to my home world where we're going to find these creatures. That's where we're going to find this grand new weapon. Essentially, he doesn't
Yep.
tell them it's creature. He's like, we got this grand new weapon. It turns out it's the nameless is what the creature is actually called, and
It's a very beautiful place, but it's
it's all
also,
twisted.
like,
It's a twisted
yeah,
place.
it's like a fucking Alice in Wonderland bullshit.
And so, like, because it's been arguably twisted by the dark side, if we want to go into probably what happened.
I'm just gonna say it's another weird planet.
Yeah, I think there's some manipulation of stuff,
Maybe.
but and maybe not by dark side. I don't mean the Sith actively did anything
I
to
don't
it.
think
I think
it's-
like the natural dark side, like something.
I
Because
don't think it's
it-
that, because with the
we
I
don't.
keep calling it the leveler,
It goes by both, but the nameless is its actual name.
but the way they've described it in the past is not, oh no, it's dark side. It's that there's nothing there.
Yeah.
To me, that's
but I mean,
worse
but I'm
than
talking
dark
about I'm
side.
talking about the planet itself.
Yeah.
Which arguably maybe the planet is nothing at all either, but I would disagree, because if that was true, then it would be similar to, I'm going to say Nathema to appease Sawyer, Nathema from the Old Republic video game / Revan novel. It would be similar to that, where just being there would suck, whether you're force sensitive or not.
Well, from what we saw, it actually does.
But not to the same degree as Nathema. It's not like a Nathema level, like, where you're dying just from being there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Fucking wildlife in Star Wars, man.
yeah. So they bring back the Nameless, and that is their new weapon. And then we flash forward after that, because it turns out so he's been telling the story to Master. Who's the mushroom guy?
I think it's Noonan Baraka.
That's probably right.
I might be wrong. Frozala's master.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I saw it. Oh, Obertook.
Okay.
Obertook Lee. So he's captured Master Obertook, who he then kills after telling the rest
Yeah.
of his story. And he's like, all right, by the way, I got this new super weapon that's going to fuck the Republic over again. And then he kills him after telling him about this. And basically, we see the reveal of this weapon in this comic, which is basically now the Republic just cannot go into the Outer Rim. Because they set up,
Damn it all.
they specifically set up these basically mines. They basically set up mines.
They mine the highways.
Yeah, they mined the hyperspace lanes to where it's not actually in hyperspace, but it's like when you exit hyperspace, it's a net mixed with like mines that will kill you. But it's also like, if you are in hyperspace, it will drag you out of hyperspace to kill you. Like if you're in the correct part of the lane, like if you get too close to outer rim. And
It's not fun.
of course, this is after Markion's already made his grand speech of him being the Eye in Fallen Star. And so now
They got my boy.
so he makes another speech regarding this and is like, "Hey, stay out of our territory or else."
They got Mr. Credara.
Yeah. No. Admiral Cronara is still alive. I thought that for a second too.
You sure?
Yeah, I confirmed he's still alive.
Okay.
Admiral Cronara from the he's still alive.
Okay.
Thank goodness. But yeah, him and Chancellor Lena So and the senator from Book One, the whiny one, Nur.
Noral Quo.
Yeah, Nur, Senator Nur.
Mm.
Which of course he's complaining again. He's like, "Man, how are we supposed to do this?" And of course they're like, "We can deal with this." I can't find the right guy I'm thinking of, but anyways, there's that Senator Nur, the one that was like, "The droid thing will never work," and all that, in the first book.
Shut up.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Anyways,
We'll get some fucking.
but of
ice.
course Lena So is like, "Yeah, this doesn't look good, but we'll figure it out."
All right. They got us again.
But we're gonna figure this
We'll
out
figure this
because we're the Republic.
They're like,
The moment we stop having any faith in being able to stop this is the moment we lose situation.
yeah. They're like, if we keep trying, they'll run out of tricks.
Anyways, we made it. That is our double feature. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, doing stuff on.
So all of these, I would say, are in the 7s and 8s.
Yeah.
7s and 8s.
Yes.
Next week, I will be out of town. I will be in Orlando. I will be at GCX. So if you want to find me, I'll be there. I do plan on the Friday before GCX to be at Disney, so you can find me there if you want to come say hi. But we are still going to have an episode because we have a guest.
Yes.
And we're going to announce that guest right now. Char Char J from Podwan's podcast. He will be joining us to talk Brotherhood. We have had this on the books for a while, so we'll get him. That just means we'll have to do a call-in for you.
Yeah.
But because I'll be at GCX, Mark Thompson is also going to be at GCX. Because I'm going to GCX to support our friend of the channel, Sawyerism. Great TikToker, and she just got a YouTube channel. She posted her first video recently this week, so go check her out. And she's going to be at a panel, so I'm going to go hang out with her, and we're going to have some fun. And, of course, we're going to get some answers from Mark Thompson regarding his pronunciation of things in audiobooks. The man has some splaining to do. He needs to explain Markion, Marchion, and Nathema, Nathema.
Oh, boy.
All right, but yeah. So that's why I was referencing earlier that I'm going to get some answers soon. But yeah, so next week, Brotherhood. All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/Escape Reality Films, subscribe and give us a like and comment down below. If you are watching on twitch.tv/CJ Star Wars 94, be sure to follow and subscribe. Anything you can do can help us out. And speaking of, we also have a Patreon, which shout out to Seth's mom, who is our current top patron. Just got to talk to her about some fun stuff on the way here. She really enjoys the show, so that's good to hear.
I would hope so.
But I mean, she could just be giving us money
Yeah.
because she's your mom,
Yeah,
but she actually watches the content, which
Yeah.
I think is great. I don't know the level. I don't know the level that your mom understands what we talk about, but
She tries.
but
She can understand Sigmund Freud and
yeah,
the
because this was the first time I've actually sat down and actually talked to your mom.
Yeah.
Like I've said hi, but I've never like talked.
an actual conversation.
Yeah, so it was nice doing that.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be down here for a little bit longer, so
Yeah.
you might see her on
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of, that is patreon.com/escape reality films. Go ahead and join up in one of our tiers. We got plenty of options. The first tier gets you access to the Discord, so you can come hang out with us. And I think that's thank you to Gamers and Geeks and Mobcast Network for the studio. Mobcast Network has their own YouTube channel where they'd have their own podcast, youtube.com/Mobcast Network, where we've got Cult Movie Cantina, where we just uploaded a video of one of our live podcasts where we talked about Starship Troopers, which was fun. That was a fun episode. And then we've got Obi-Wan Days going on, where we're talking about the episodes of Obi-Wan. We've got the first episode of that out, where we talk about episodes 1 and 2 of that. And Tuesdays with Scotty, which I think we're kind of on a little break with, but we're going to have more episodes soon. And so that's Mobcast Network. As for Gamers and Geeks, they are our local gaming shop, and they provide the actual space that Gamers and Geeks, that Mobcast Network rents out from them and then provides to us. If you like any type of nerd stuff, come out here and check them out. And then they've got Engage Gaming right next door inside the same building, where you can, for a monthly fee, have a membership where you can play on any console that they have, and you can just essentially rent out a console without renting it out, and you just stay in the gaming space. And they got PC, they've got Xbox, PlayStation, and VR. So a lot of good stuff. So once again, thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next week with Brotherhood and our guest, Char Char J. I have spoken.
Go away.